So, hello everyone. My name is Mohamed Dhraief. I am the president of Applied Machine Learning Days Africa 2024. I'm also one of the co-founders of this movement. I'm really happy to be today at Nairobi. We're having our third edition. After 2 editions in Tunisia and Morocco, we'll come at USIU to democratize machine learning in Africa, to bring worldwide experts to talk about the opportunities but also the challenges of AI across various fields. We begin today with talks about healthcare. We have a full day deserved to healthcare, from drug discovery to chatbots in healthcare to malaria supervision. Very interesting talks from people coming from all over the world. I'm talking with you right now, and in the auditorium we're having Professor Hartley. She's a professor at Yale. She's a medical doctor from South Africa originally, and she then pivoted to use AI in healthcare. So I think it's a good inspiration for computer scientists and engineers like myself, but also for medical doctors to be able to see how AI can be used across all fields, to be aware of the biases, and we'll continue with more talks and with more fields tomorrow with sustainability, cultural preservation, and finally economical empowerment.
Mm-hmm. I understand that this is the 3rd edition and you decided to host it in Kenya. Perhaps what informed your decision to host this? Because Kenya is the first East African country to host such a conference.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah. It's the African Silicon Savannah.
Yeah.
So we had to come here, I guess. So the movement started from people from Switzerland, and they were North Africans. And we want to do an African conference. So the first one was in Tunisia. And then the second one we did in Morocco because we had people from Morocco. It's close to Europe. The university had a good relationship with the Moroccan university. But then it made sense to come to a little bit south and not stay only in the North Africa. So we contacted the university. They were really responsive. They showed their interest. There's also a growing fintech community, AI community here. Also, we're benefiting from the support of our sponsors, Google, Novartis, the African Guarantee Fund. They are based in Nairobi, so there was a lot of pros to come here, and I'm really glad we made that choice. Mm-hmm. And if I may add, so our goal is not to stop here. Our goal is to have this as a long-term project. The idea is to have a loop of 3 or maybe 4 universities that collaborate together, and the conference will go from one country to another. Mm-hmm. So if everything goes well, this won't be the last Amld Africa in Nairobi.
Mm-hmm. So you speak about democratizing AI.
Yes.
Perhaps you can expound on that, because in Africa we have challenges when it comes to AI. Mm-hmm. We only have one country in Africa that actually has an AI law in place, perhaps 2 that have a policy that is in place. When you look at Kenya, we have a Data Protection Act, but ideally we don't have an AI law.
Okay.
So when you talk about democratizing AI, mm-hmm. What does it mean? What does it look like?
So I think in addition to that, maybe you can also expound on the targeted audience, because we have the experts and we have the amateurs, and we have those who doesn't know anything at all.
Sure. So I'm going to start with the latter, because the answer is quite clear in my head. We're having parallel sessions, so we're offering the participant the choice to go to different talks according to his background and according to his level. And when we offer this flexibility, we try to adapt to our audience. We also informed our speakers about it. We try to give them all the information so they can make the talks difficult enough to make it interesting, but not difficult too much to make people who are just coming into the field get discouraged. But yeah, so to answer your question, having parallel tracks is a good way to make sure everyone can find their pleasure. Regarding the first question, democratize machine learning in Africa. For me, what does it mean? We're not targeting yet governments and policymakers. We're inviting them to the conference, but we didn't have an actual workshop with them. However, I think that's a good idea. When we say democratizing machine learning in Africa, what does it mean? So if you want to attend the same conference that we're having here in Europe, it costs up to $1,000 for the whole week. So that's a huge financial barrier. Also, you'd have to fly, you have to apply for visa, which is an added complexity for most of the people. So we bring the conference to them. We try to make the number of steps between them and connecting and networking with really good speakers very low. So today, if you're in Africa, you can just connect online. It's recorded. We also have 14 different broadcasts in 14 different countries. So even if you're not in Kenya, you can reach out to local Amld Africa ambassadors and have a kind of sense of community. So that's what we mean with democratizing machine learning in Africa. However, it is true that with all the challenges, there's opportunities. In my opening speech, I talked about how M-Pesa was a very good example of how we can transform challenges into solutions. The only thing that we're missing is we have to believe in it. We have to have hope. We don't have to. We have to get ourselves accountable and not say, "Hey, they're not doing anything for us." Yeah, you basically have to get your hands dirty, I guess.
Okay, and I think maybe increased demand in AI and machine learning solutions, and also this conference is also seeking to showcase Africa's dedication to owning AI development.
Exactly.
Do you think, as a continent or as a region, do you think we are doing much enough to put ourselves out there by coming up with solutions that help us within ourselves that are focused around AI and machine learning?
I think the term "much enough" kind of insinuates that there is a certain threshold, but the threshold is quite hard to determine. I think everyone is trying to do what they can, and no one's doing enough in some certain sense. So I think the goal is to get into that dynamic of talking about it, making people aware first, implementing into companies for that to have to collect the data. So basically we have to start the discussion, and that's our role here, to bring all the players together, from academics to professionals, to be able to discuss, to interact with each other, to create connections also, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Okay, for my last question is, speaking of costs, how much did it cost you to host this kind of conference here in Kenya?
I don't think it's a public figure I can say.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Okay, yeah. Just for learning.
But if I can, I'll tell you something. We are a non-profit, and we definitely. Since we're covering for basically our speaker process as follows: you apply, and if you get accepted, we fully fund you here. So regardless of where you come from, so we're trying to make it meritocratic as much as we can. And basically, since we're non-profit, as the definition said, there is no gain for us. We're all volunteers organizing this. We've been able to fund this conference throughout the sponsors, Google, Novartis, and the African Charity Fund that made it possible.